What if the person your child loved most was hiding the biggest secret of all? Sarah stood in the middle of her small apartment, hands shaking. 5 men were sitting in her living room, 5 rich, successful men. Each one wanted to marry her, but her 7-year-old son, Tommy, had to choose. She told him, "Pick one, baby. Pick the man who will be your new dad." Tommy looked at each man carefully: the doctor, the lawyer, the businessman, the banker, the tech CEO. All of them smiled at him. All of them promised him toys, vacations, and a big house, but Tommy didn't point at any of them. Instead, he walked to the window. He pointed outside. "Him," Tommy said softly. "I want him to be my dad." Sarah's heart stopped. Outside the window stood Marcus, the janitor who cleaned their building every night. Marcus, the man with torn shoes and a faded jacket. Marcus, the man who had nothing. "Tommy, no," Sarah whispered, her voice breaking, but Tommy's eyes were full of tears. "Mom, please." "I want him." And that's when everything changed, because Marcus wasn't just a janitor. He was the man Sarah had loved 7 years ago, the man she had lost, the man who didn't know that Tommy was his son 7 years ago. Sarah was a different person. She was 22 years old. She worked at a small coffee shop near the university. She didn't have much money, but she was happy. She had dreams. She wanted to become a teacher. She wanted to help children learn and grow every morning. She woke up early and walked to work. The city was cold, but she didn't mind. She loved the smell of fresh coffee. She loved the sound of people talking and laughing. And then one day, Marcus walked into her life. He was tall, with kind eyes and a gentle smile. He ordered a simple black coffee. "No sugar?" Sarah asked, smiling. "I like things simple," Marcus said, and that was it. That was the moment her heart began to beat faster. Marcus came back every single day, always at 7. Always ordering the same black coffee. They talked about everything. About life, about dreams, about the future. Marcus told her he was studying engineering. He was poor, but he was smart. He worked 3 jobs to pay for his classes. He cleaned offices at night. He delivered food in the afternoon. He fixed computers on weekends, but he never complained. One day, he told Sarah, "I'll build something great. I'll make a difference." Sarah believed him. She believed in him more than he believed in himself. And slowly, they fell in love. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet and real. They held hands while walking through the park. They shared cheap meals from street vendors. They talked for hours about the life they would build together. Sarah had never felt so happy. She had never felt so loved. But love sometimes isn't enough. Marcus got an offer. A big engineering company wanted to hire him, but there was one problem. The job was in another country. Far away, very far away. "It's my dream, Sarah," Marcus said, holding her hands. "This is everything I've worked for." Sarah's heart broke, but she smiled. "Then you should go," she said. "Come with me," Marcus begged. "We'll go together. We'll start a new life." Sarah wanted to say yes, wanted to pack her bags and follow him to the end of the world, but she couldn't. Her mother was sick, very sick. Cancer. Sarah was the only one taking care of her. She couldn't leave. She couldn't abandon her mother. "I can't, Marcus," Sarah said, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry." "I can't." Marcus pulled her into his arms. "Then I'll stay," he said. "I'll give up the job. I'll stay here with you." But Sarah shook her head. "No, you have to go. This is your future, your dream. I won't let you give it up from me." They argued, they cried, they held each other through the night. And in the morning, Marcus left. He kissed her one last time. "I'll come back for you," he promised. "I swear." "Sarah, I'll come back." Sarah watched him walk away. She watched until he disappeared into the crowd. And then she broke down. She cried until she had no tears left. But what Marcus didn't know, what Sarah didn't tell him, was that she was pregnant. She stared at the test in her hands. Too pink, Lines. Positive. She was going to have a baby, Marcus's baby. Her hands trembled, her mind raced. She wanted to call him. She wanted to tell him the truth, but then she thought about his dream. His future. His one chance to escape poverty. If she told him, he would come back. She knew he would. He would give up everything for her and the baby, and he would spend the rest of his life regretting it. Sarah couldn't do that too. She loved him too much. So she made a decision. A decision that would haunt her for 7 years. She didn't call him. She didn't tell him about the baby. She let him go. She let him chase his dreams, and she faced the pregnancy alone. Her mother's condition got worse. The medical bills piled up. Sarah had to drop out of school. She worked 2 jobs. Even while pregnant, she cleaned houses during the day. She worked at a 24-hour diner at night. Her body ached. Her heart ached even more. She missed Marcus every single day, but she never reached out. She deleted his number. She blocked him on social media. She wanted him to move on. She wanted him to be happy, even if it meant she had to suffer. When Tommy was born, Sarah held him in her arms and cried. He had Marcus's eyes, the same kind, gentle eyes. "You look just like your father," she whispered to the tiny baby. "And he would have loved you so much." But Sarah kept the secret. She told everyone Tommy's father had left her. She told them he didn't care. It was easier that way. Easier than explaining the truth. It wasn't easy. Money was always tight. They lived in a small apartment in a rough neighborhood. Sarah worked long hours at a grocery store. Tommy went to a public school nearby. They didn't have much, but they had each other. Tommy was a smart, kind boy. He loved to draw. He loved to ask questions. "Mom, why is the sky blue?" "Mom, where do stars come from?" "Mom, why don't I have a dad?" That last question broke Sarah's heart every time. "Your dad? He's far away, baby," Sarah would say. "But he's a good man, and he would love you if he knew you." Tommy always smiled when she said that. "Then why doesn't he come back?" Sarah had no answer. She met a man named David. David was a banker. Rich, successful, confident. He saw Sarah at the grocery store where she worked. He asked her out. At first, Sarah said no. She didn't have time for dating. She didn't have energy for love, but David was persistent. He sent her flowers. He came to the store every week just to see her. He was charming and kind. And slowly, Sarah's walls came down. She started seeing him. David took her to nice restaurants. He bought gifts for Tommy. He talked about marriage, about giving her and Tommy a better life. "You deserve more than this, Sarah," David said one night. "You deserve to be taken care of." Sarah wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could be happy again, but deep down, something felt wrong. David was good to her, but he didn't look at her the way Marcus had. He didn't make her heart race. He didn't make her feel alive. Still, she convinced herself it was enough. Tommy needed a father. She needed stability. Love wasn't everything, right? It happened on a cold Tuesday night. Sarah was coming home from work. Tommy was holding her hand. They walked into their building, and there he was. Marcus. Mopping the floor in the lobby. Sarah froze. Her heart stopped. She couldn't breathe. It was him after 7 years. Marcus looked different, older, tired. His clothes were old and worn. His hands were rough from years of hard work, but his eyes were the same. He looked up. And their eyes met. For a moment, the world disappeared. It was just the two of them, just like it used to be. "Sarah?" Marcus whispered. His voice was full of shock, pain, confusion. Sarah couldn't speak. She just stood there, frozen. Tommy tugged on her hand. "Mom? Who is that?" Marcus's eyes dropped to Tommy. He stared at the boy. At his dark hair. At his kind eyes that looked just like his own. "Is this?" Marcus began, but his voice broke. Sarah grabbed Tommy's hand tighter. "Come on, baby. Let's go upstairs." She pulled Tommy toward the elevator. She didn't look back. She couldn't. Behind her, Marcus stood in the empty lobby. His mop fell from his hands. He stared at the closed elevator doors. And for the first time in 7 years, he let himself cry. Let me tell you, when Marcus left Sarah 7 years ago, he was full of hope. He got on the plane to Germany. He started his new job at the engineering firm. Everything seemed perfect, but life had other plans. 6 months into the job, Marcus's father had a stroke. Back home, he was in the hospital, fighting for his life. Marcus flew back immediately. His father survived, but he was paralyzed. He needed constant care. Marcus couldn't leave him. He quit his job in Germany. He came back home, but by then, he had nothing. No job. No savings. He tried to contact Sarah. He called her number, but it was disconnected. He went to her old apartment, but she had moved. He searched for her everywhere, but Sarah had disappeared. Marcus was heartbroken. He thought she had moved on. He thought she had forgotten him. So he stopped searching. He focused on taking care of his father. He took any job he could find: delivery driver, construction worker, security guard, and finally, janitor. It was the only steady job he could get. It didn't pay much, but it was honest work. Marcus had given up on his dreams. He had given up on love. He had given up on everything. Until that night, the night he saw Sarah again, and the little boy who looked just like him. Every evening, he cleaned the building. And every evening, he hoped to see them. Sometimes, Tommy would come down to the lobby to throw away trash. Marcus always smiled at him. Hey there, buddy. How was school? Tommy always smiled back. Good. We learned about planets today. Planets, huh? Which one's your favorite? Saturn. Because it has rings, Marcus laughed. Good choice. Tommy liked Marcus. He liked the way Marcus listened to him. The way Marcus asked him questions. The way Marcus treated him like he mattered. You're nice, Tommy said one day. Not like the other grown-ups. What do you mean? Marcus asked. The other men who visit Mom, they don't really talk to me. They just smile and give me stuff. But you actually listen. Marcus's heart ached. Other men. Was Sarah seeing someone? Of course she was. It had been 7 years. She had moved on, just like he thought. But even though it hurt, Marcus was happy she was okay. Happy she was alive. Happy she was here. Mr. Marcus? Yeah, buddy. Do you have kids? Marcus paused. He looked at Tommy's innocent face. No, he said softly. I don't. Why not? I guess I never met the right person. Tommy thought about this. Do you think, if you had a kid, you'd be a good dad? Marcus's throat tightened. I'd try my best. Tommy nodded slowly. I think you would be. And then Tommy ran back upstairs. Marcus stood there, alone in the empty lobby. He pressed his hand to his chest. It felt like his heart was breaking all over again. Every time she saw Marcus, she wanted to tell him the truth. Every time Tommy talked about the nice janitor, her heart shattered, but she didn't know how. How do you tell someone they have a son? How do you explain 7 years of silence? And what if Marcus hated her? What if he never forgave her? Sarah was terrified. So she avoided him. She took the stairs instead of the elevator. She sent Tommy to throw out the trash when Marcus wasn't around. She pretended he didn't exist, but David noticed. You've been acting strange. David said one night over dinner. I'm fine, Sarah lied. Is it that janitor? I see the way you look at him. Sarah's face went pale. I don't know what you're talking about. David leaned forward. Don't lie to me, Sarah. Who is he? Sarah's hands trembled. No one. He's no one. But David didn't believe her, and that's when things got complicated over the past year. Sarah had attracted attention from several wealthy men. It wasn't because she was trying. She was just kind, genuine, real. Men noticed that there was David, the banker. There was Dr. Richard, a surgeon who met Sarah at the hospital when Tommy broke his arm. There was James, a lawyer who helped Sarah with a tenant dispute. There was Mr. Chun, a businessman who owned several restaurants. And there was Alex, a young tech CEO who lived in the penthouse of their building. All of them liked Sarah. All of them wanted to marry her. They showered her with gifts. They promised her security. They promised Tommy a future. But Sarah didn't love any of them. She was kind to them, but her heart wasn't in it. And Tommy? Tommy didn't like any of them. He smiled politely. When they visited, he said thank you when they gave him toys. But when they left, Tommy always looked sad. Mom, do you like them? Tommy asked one night. They're nice people, baby. But do you like them? Sarah didn't answer, because the truth was, she didn't. She liked Marcus. She had never stopped. One Sunday evening, Sarah made a crazy decision. All 5 men had been asking her to make a choice. They wanted an answer. Who would she marry? Sarah was exhausted. She didn't want any of them, but she also didn't know how to say no. So she invited all 5 of them to her apartment. At the same time, she didn't tell them about each other. She just invited them all for dinner. When they showed up and saw each other, chaos erupted. What is this? David demanded. What are you doing here? Dr. Richard snapped at James. Mr. Chun and Alex exchanged confused looks. Sarah stood in the middle of her tiny living room. 5 angry men staring at her. I'm sorry, she said quietly, but I need to be honest with all of you. The room went silent. I don't love any of you. You could hear a pin drop. I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I can't marry someone I don't love. It's not fair to you. And it's not fair to me. David's face turned red. So what? You're just using us? No, Sarah said firmly. I never asked for any of this. You all pursued me. I was just trying to survive. Dr. Richard crossed his arms. Then what do you want, Sarah? Sarah opened her mouth to answer, but before she could speak, Tommy walked into the room. He had been in his bedroom. Drawing? He looked at the 5 men, he looked at his mother. And then he said something that made everyone freeze. Mom, why are all these men here? Sarah knelt down to his level. They want to be part of our family, Tommy. You mean they want to be my dad? Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Yes, baby. Tommy looked at each man carefully. David. The banker in his expensive suit. Dr. Richard. Confident and proud. James. The layer. Cold and calculating. Mr. Chun. Kind but distant. Alex. Young and flashy. Then Tommy walked to the window. He looked outside. Down in the street. Marcus was emptying a trash bin. His old jacket was covered in stains. His shoes were falling apart, but he was whistling softly. Tommy pointed at him. Him, Tommy said simply. I want him to be my dad. The room exploded. What? The janitor? Are you serious? But Sarah wasn't listening to them. She was staring at Tommy. Baby, why him? Tommy looked at her with those big, honest eyes. Because he's the only one who really sees me, Mom. The only one who listens. The only one who makes you smile for real. Sarah's vision blurred with tears. Tommy continued. And because I think he's my real dad. Isn't he? Sarah collapsed to her knees. She sobbed. All the years of secrets. All the years of pain. It all came crashing down. Yes, she whispered. Yes, baby. He's your father. The 5 men stood in stunned silence, and then one by one, they left. They walked out of the apartment, out of Sarah's life. Only Sarah and Tommy remained. Tommy hugged his mother. It's okay. Mom, we're going to be okay. But Sarah knew what she had to do. She had to tell Marcus the truth. Her heart was pounding. Her hands were shaking. She found Marcus in the basement. He was putting away his cleaning supplies. Marcus. He turned around when he saw her. His breath caught. Sarah. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. 7 years of pain, 7 years of longing, 7 years of unspoken words. I need to tell you something, Sarah said. Her voice breaking. Marcus set down his mop. Okay, Sarah took a deep breath. Tommy is your son. The words hung in the air. Marcus's face went blank. What? Tommy, he's yours. I was pregnant when you left. I didn't tell you because I wanted you to follow your dreams. I didn't want you to give up your future for us. Marcus staggered backward. He leaned against the wall. I have a son? Yes, for 7 years. I had a son. And you didn't tell me? His voice was filled with pain, anger, confusion. I'm sorry, Sarah sobbed. I'm so sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing. You thought? Marcus's voice rose. You thought it was okay to keep my child from me? I was trying to protect you. Protect me? Marcus shouted. I spent 7 years thinking you forgot about me. 7 years thinking I meant nothing to you. You meant everything to me. Sarah screamed back. That's why I let you go. They stood there, both breathing hard, both crying. Marcus ran his hands through his hair. I came back, Sarah. I gave up everything to come back. And you were gone. Do you know what that did to me? I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Marcus closed his eyes. I have a son. Yes, and he doesn't know me. He knows you. He chose you, Marcus. Out of 5 rich men who wanted to marry me, Tommy chose you. Marcus looked up. What? Sarah smiled through her tears. He said you're the only one who really sees him. The only one who makes me smile for real. And he figured out on his own that you're his father. Marcus's legs gave out. He sank to the floor. He covered his face with his hands and wept. Sarah knelt beside him. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Marcus looked at her. Really looked at her. I never stopped loving you. Sarah, not for a single day. I never stopped loving you either. And there, in that cold basement, they held each other. 2 broken people, finally coming home. Tommy was nervous. What if he doesn't want to be my dad? He wants to, baby. Trust me. They found Marcus in the lobby. When Marcus saw Tommy, his eyes filled with tears. Hi, Marcus said softly. Hi, Tommy said shyly. Marcus knelt down to Tommy's level. Your mom told me the truth. Tommy nodded. I'm sorry I didn't know about you all these years, but I want you to know something. If I had known, I would have been there. Every single day? Really? Really, because you're my son? And I love you. Tommy's lip trembled. Do you want to be my dad? Marcus pulled Tommy into his arms. More than anything in the world. Tommy hugged him back, and for the first time in his life, he felt complete. Over the next few months, Marcus became a part of their lives. He spent every free moment with Tommy. They played soccer. In the park, they built model airplanes together. They talked about planets and stars and dreams. Tommy blossomed. He smiled more. He laughed more. He was happy. And Sarah fell in love with Marcus all over again. But this time, it was deeper. Stronger. This time. Nothing would tear them apart. Marcus wanted to provide for his family. He was still just a janitor. But he didn't care. He worked extra shifts. He saved every penny. He wanted to give Tommy and Sarah the life they deserved. You don't have to do this, Sarah told him one night. Yes, I do. You're my family. But then something incredible happened. Marcus's old engineering professor from university reached out to him. The professor had started a company. He needed someone with Marcus's skills. Someone he could trust. I never forgot you, Marcus, the professor said. You were the best student I ever had. Come work with me. Marcus was speechless. But I haven't worked as an engineer in years. So? You still have the brain, the passion. That's what matters. Marcus looked at Sarah. She was crying, smiling, and crying at the same time. Take it, she said. Take the job. Marcus took the job within 6 months. He was earning a good salary. He moved Sarah and Tommy out of the tiny apartment. They moved into a small house with a yard. Nothing fancy, but it was theirs. Tommy had his own room, a room where he could draw and dream. And be a kid. Sarah went back to school. She finished her degree. She became a teacher, just like she always wanted. And Marcus woke up every morning and thanked God for his son, for his family. For second chances. It wasn't a fancy proposal. He didn't have an expensive ring. They were in the park, the same park where they used to walk 7 years ago. Tommy was playing on the swings. Nearby, Marcus got down on one knee. Sarah, I lost you once. I won't lose you again. Will you marry me? Sarah laughed and cried at the same time. Yes, yes, 1,000 times. Yes, they got married 2 months later. It was a small wedding, just family and a few friends. Tommy was the ring bearer. He walked down the aisle with the biggest smile on his face. And when Marcus and Sarah kissed, Tommy cheered. That's my mom. That's my dad. Everyone laughed. Everyone cried. It was perfect. Tommy is 12 now. He's tall, smart, and kind, just like his father. Marcus is a senior engineer at the company. He's respected, successful, but more importantly, he's happy. Sarah teaches at the local elementary school. She loves her job. She loves her life. And every night, when they sit down for dinner, they hold hands. They say grace. They thank God for bringing them back together. Dad? Tommy asks one evening. Yeah, buddy? Do you ever think about what would have happened if I didn't choose you that night? Marcus looks at Sarah. Sarah looks at Tommy. I think, Marcus says slowly, that God had a plan. And no matter what, we would have found each other. Because that's what family does. Tommy smiles. Yeah, I think so too. Sarah squeezes Marcus's hand, and in that moment, everything is right in the world. The evening when 5 rich men sat in her living room. The evening when Tommy pointed at the janitor. What if Tommy had chosen differently? What if she had never told Marcus the truth? What if she had married one of those men for money and security? She would have been comfortable, but she wouldn't have been happy because love isn't about money. It's not about status or success. It's about finding the person who sees you. Really sees you. The person who makes you feel alive. The person who would cross oceans for you. And sometimes that person is wearing torn shoes and a faded jacket. Sometimes that person is mopping floors. Sometimes that person is the one everyone overlooks. But to the people who matter, to the people who truly see them, they're everything. How much money they make, what kind of car they drive, what neighborhood they live in. But Tommy didn't see any of that. He saw kindness, he saw patience, he saw love, and that's what made all the difference. David, the banker, could have given Tommy a big house. Dr. Richard could have given him the best schools. James could have given him connections. Mr. Chun could have given him opportunities. Alex could have given him technology and luxury. But Marcus gave him something none of them could. A father who truly loved him, not because he had to, not because it looked good, but because Tommy was his son, his blood, his heart, real. Love doesn't care about money. It doesn't care about status. It doesn't care about what the world thinks. Real. Love shows up. It stays. It fights. It sacrifices. Sarah thought she was protecting Marcus by keeping the secret, but all she did was rob them both of 7 years. 7 years they could never get back. 7 years of birthdays and first steps and bedtime stories, but they didn't waste time being angry. They didn't waste time on regret. They focused on the future, on building a life together, on being a family, because that's what matters in the end. Not the years you lost, but the years you choose to live fully, he learned. That worth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in character. In how you treat people when you have nothing to gain. And how you show up, even when the world ignores you. Marcus could have been bitter. He could have given up. He could have walked away when life got hard. But the idea in single quotes, he kept going. He kept hoping. He kept hoping. And in the end, hope led him back to love. David eventually married someone else, a woman who cared about money as much as he did. Dr. Richard focused on his career. He's successful, but he's alone. James is still climbing the corporate ladder, still cold, still calculating. Mr. Chun retired and moved back to China, and Alex actually learned something from that night. He realized that money can't buy happiness. He started volunteering at homeless shelters. He started helping people who had nothing, and one day he met someone who loved him for who he was. not for what he had dot so in a way. That night changed all of them, not just Sarah and Marcus and Tommy, but everyone who was there dot because sometimes the truth has a way of waking people up dot when people ask how they met dot how they got together. They smile and say, "It's a long story." And it is a story of love and loss, of mistakes and miracles, of a little boy who saw what others COULDN single quotes do. Tommy is proud of his story. He tells his friends, "My dad is the best dad in the world." And when they ask what his dad does, Tommy says, "He's an engineer." But before that, he was a janitor. And he was just as great then as he is now. Because Tommy understands something most people don't. A job doesn't define you. Your character does. Marcus, Sarah, and Tommy sit on their porch. They drink hot chocolate. They watch the sun rise. And they talk about the future, about Tommy's dreams of becoming a scientist. About Sarah's plans to write a children's book. About Marcus's idea to start a scholarship fund for poor engineering students. They talk about travel and adventures and hopes, but most of all, they talk about gratitude. "I'm grateful for that night," Tommy says one morning. "Which night?" Sarah asks. "The night I chose Dad. I'm glad I saw him." "Really saw him," Marcus ruffles Tommy's hair. "I'm glad too." "Buddy," Sarah leans her head on Marcus's shoulder. "Me too." And they sit there together. A family that almost wasn't a family that fought its way back to each other, a family that chose love over everything else. Not the money you make. Not the house you live in, not the car you drive. It's about the people you love, the people who love you back, the people who see you. Even when the world DOES in single quotes D. Sarah almost lost that. She almost chose security over love, but Tommy reminded her of what really matters, and thank God he did, because now they have everything. Not everything the world values, but everything that truly counts. The world will try to tell you what's important. It will tell you to chase money. To chase status. To chase things that don't last. But don't listen. Chase love. Chase kindness. Chase the people who make your heart feel full. Because when everything else fades away, when the money is gone and the status is meaningless, love is all that remains. Tommy knew that. A 7-year-old boy knew that, and he changed 3 lives by following his heart. But sometimes, on weekends, he volunteers, he goes to community centers. He teaches kids about science and math. Kids from poor families. Kids who think they have no future. Kids just like he used to be. "You can do anything," Marcus tells them. "It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you're going." And the kids listen, they believe him. Because Marcus isn't just talking, he's living proof. She teaches at a school in a poor neighborhood. She could have taken a job at a fancy private school. They offered her more money. Better benefits, but she said no. "These kids need me more," she told Marcus, and she's right. Every day, Sarah sees children who remind her of herself. Children with big dreams but no resources. Children who think they're not good enough. Children who need someone to believe in them. And Sarah is that someone. She stays late to help with homework. She buys school supplies. With her own money, she hugs the kids who have no one else to hug. Mrs. Sarah saved my life. One student said once, and Sarah cried when she heard it, because she knows what it feels like to need saving. He's 12 now, but he acts older. He's responsible, caring, thoughtful. He helps his mom grade papers. He helps his dad with projects. He volunteers at the animal shelter every Saturday. His teachers love him. His friends respect him. "Your son is special," Tommy's teacher told Sarah one day. "I know," Sarah said with pride, "but what makes Tommy special isn't his grades. It's not his manners. It's his heart. Tommy sees people the way he saw Marcus that night. He sees past the surface. He sees the truth. When other kids make fun of the janitor at school, Tommy defends him. "He works hard," Tommy says. "You should respect him." When other kids ignore the homeless man outside the grocery store, Tommy stops. He gives the man his allowance. Everyone deserves kindness, Tommy says simply, and people notice. They notice that this boy is different. This boy understands something most adults don't, that every person has value. Every person deserves dignity. Every person has a story. Someone had shared their story online, the story of the boy who chose the janitor. It went viral. Millions of people watched it. Millions of people cried. Millions of people were inspired. The reporter wanted to interview them. At first, Sarah said no. We don't need attention, she said, but Marcus thought differently. Maybe our story can help someone, he said. Maybe someone out there needs to hear that it's okay to choose love over money. So they agreed. The reporter came with cameras and lights. She sat down with Marcus. Sarah and Tommy, why did you choose the janitor? The reporter asked Tommy. Tommy thought for a moment. Because he was the only real one. The other men wanted to impress my mom. But Mr. Marcus, my dad, he just wanted to know me. He asked me about my day. He listened when I talked. He made my mom smile without trying. And I could feel it. I could feel that he was supposed to be my dad. The reporter wiped her eyes. And you, Sarah, why did you keep this secret for 7 years? Sarah's voice shook. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was protecting Marcus's future. But I was wrong. I was selfish. I robbed him of 7 years with his son. And I robbed Tommy of 7 years with his father. If I could go back, I would do it differently. I would tell Marcus the truth from the beginning. And Marcus, the reporter turned to him. How did you feel when you found out? Marcus took a deep breath. Angry, hurt, confused, but also grateful. Because even though I missed 7 years, I still have the rest of my life. I still have my son. I still have the woman I love. Some people never get that chance. So, yes, I wish things were different. But I'm not going to waste time being bitter. I'm going to spend every day making up for lost time. The reporter nodded. What message do you want people to take from your story? Marcus, Sarah, and Tommy looked at each other. Then Tommy spoke. Don't judge people by what they have. Judge them by who they are. And it changed. Everything. Thousands of messages poured in. From single mothers who felt seen. From fathers who had been judged for being poor. From children who understood what Tommy felt. Your story gave me hope, one woman wrote. I was about to marry a man I didn't love. Because he had money, another wrote. But your story made me realize I deserve better. I'm a janitor, a man wrote. And my kids are embarrassed by me. I showed them your story. And now they tell their friends I'm their hero. Marcus. Sarah and Tommy read every message. They cried over every single one. Because they realized something powerful their pain had. Purpose. Their story mattered. Their choice to love had rippled out into the world. David, the banker, saw the interview. He was angry. She embarrassed me, he told his friends. She made me look like a fool. Dr. Richard saw it too. I offered her everything, he said bitterly. And she chose a janitor. They couldn't understand. They couldn't see past their pride. But Mr. Chun had a different reaction. He watched the interview and smiled. Good for her, he said quietly. She chose happiness, and Alex? Alex called Sarah. Hey, he said. I just wanted to say, thank you. For what? Sarah asked, confused. For teaching me what really matters. I've been chasing success my whole life, but I forgot to chase meaning. Your story woke me up, Sarah smiled. I'm glad, Alex, really. I'm volunteering now, Alex continued, at a youth center, teaching kids about technology. And it feels right. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm doing something that matters. That's beautiful, Alex. Yeah, so thank you for being brave enough to follow your heart. When Sarah hung up, she cried. Happy tears. Because even Alex, the flashy tech CEO, had learned something. Their story was changing lives, one heart at a Tommy graduated middle school. Then high school. He was top of his class. He got scholarships to multiple universities. I'm so proud of you. Son, Marcus said at graduation. I couldn't have done it without you. Dad, Tommy chose to study environmental science. He wanted to help save the planet. The world needs people who care, Tommy said. And you and Mom taught me to care. Sarah and Marcus watched their son walk across that stage. They held hands and cried because this was the boy. They almost never raised together. This was the boy who changed everything. It was a small wooden box. Tommy opened it. Inside was a letter. What's this? Tommy asked. Read it, Marcus said. Tommy unfolded the letter. It was written in Marcus's handwriting. Dear Tommy, I'm writing this letter on the day I found out you were my son. Today I discovered that for 7 years I had a child I didn't know about. And my heart broke into a million pieces, not because I was angry, but because I missed so much. I missed your first word, your first step, your first day of school. But son, I want you to know something. Even though I missed those years, I thank God for every single day since. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. You taught me what it means to be a father. You taught me what it means to love unconditionally. And most of all, you taught me that it's never too late to love, never too late to try, never too late to be the person you were meant to be. I'm so proud of you, son. Not because of your grades or your achievements, but because of your heart. You see people, really see them. Just like you saw me that night. Never lose that. Tommy, never stop seeing the good in people. I love you more than words can say. Tommy finished reading. Tears streamed down his face. He hugged Marcus tight. I love you too, Dad. And in that moment, Sarah watched her two favorite people in the world. The boy who saved them, and the man who came back. 5 rich men sitting in her living room. All of them promising her the world. All of them offering security and comfort. And her 7-year-old son pointing out the window at a janitor. What if she had said no? What if she had forced Tommy to choose one of the rich men? What if she had never told Marcus the truth? Their lives would be so different. Tommy might have grown up with money, but he would have grown up without his real father. Sarah might have been comfortable, but she would have been miserable. And Marcus would have spent the rest of his life not knowing he had a son. The thought makes Sarah sick, because she realizes how close they came to losing everything. How one moment, one choice changed their entire lives. It's a choice every single day. You choose it. You choose to stay when things get hard. You choose to forgive when you're hurt. You choose to believe when everything seems impossible. Sarah chose love when she let Marcus go 7 years ago. She thought she was doing the right thing, but she learned that love isn't about sacrifice. It's about partnership. It's about facing things together. Marcus chose love when he forgave Sarah for keeping the secret. He could have walked away. He could have stayed angry, but he chose to understand. He chose to move forward. And Tommy chose love when he pointed at the janitor. He chose his real father over money and status. He chose truth over comfort, and that choice saved them all, not because they want attention, but because they want people to know. To know that real love exists. To know that money doesn't buy happiness. To know that it's never too late to make things right. Marcus speaks at conferences. Now, he talks about second chances, about redemption. About the power of forgiveness. I was a janitor, he tells audiences. People looked right through me, but my son saw me, and that changed everything. Sarah speaks at schools. She talks to young women about choices, about self-worth, about not settling. Don't marry for money, she tells them. Marry for love. Because money will fade, but love endures. And Tommy is in graduate school now. He's studying to become an environmental scientist. He wants to save the planet, but on weekends, he mentors young boys from single-parent homes, boys who need a role model. My dad was a janitor when I met him, Tommy tells these boys. But he was also the richest man I knew. Because he had love. And love is worth more than all the money in the world. The single mother who chose love, the boy who saw what others. COULDN single quotes D.3 broken people who found each other. 3. People who proved that family isn't about blood. It's about choice. It's about showing up. It's about love. What would you have done in Sarah's position? Would you have told the truth from the beginning? Would you have kept the secret to protect someone you loved? What would you have done in Marcus's position? Would you have forgiven? Would you have stayed angry? And if you were Tommy, who would you have chosen? The rich men with all their promises? Or the janitor with nothing but love? These questions matter because life is full of moments like these, moments where you have to choose between what's easy and what's right, choose between what looks good and what feels true, choose between comfort and love, and the choice you make will define your life. They have gray hairs and laugh lines, but they're happy, truly happy. They sit on their porch every evening, they hold hands, and watch the sunset. And they talk about how blessed they are. Do you ever regret it? Sarah asks one evening. Regret what? Forgiving me. Taking me back. Staying with someone who kept such a big secret. Marcus turns to look at her. Really look at her. Sarah, you gave me the greatest gift of my life. You gave me Tommy. Yes, you kept a secret. Yes, it hurt. But you did it because you loved me. And I forgive you. Not because I have to, but because I want to. Because forgiveness is the only way to truly live. Sarah's eyes fill with tears. I don't deserve you. And I don't deserve you. But here we are. Two imperfect people who chose to love each other anyway. They kiss, a soft, gentle kiss, the kind of kiss that comes from years of love, years of struggle, years of choosing each other. He brings his girlfriend kind. Smart woman who works as a teacher, just like his mom. Mom, Dad, I want you to meet someone, Tommy says one Sunday. He brings her to the porch. This is Maya. Maya smiles shyly. It's so nice to meet you. Tommy talks about you all the time. Sarah hugs her immediately. Welcome to the family. Sweetie, Marcus shakes her hand. So you're the one who stole my son's heart, Maya laughs. I guess so. They sit down for dinner and over pasta and laughter. Marcus asks Maya a question. So what made you fall in love with Tommy? Maya doesn't hesitate. His heart? He's the kindest person I've ever met. He sees people, really sees them. And that's rare. Sarah and Marcus exchange a look. Tommy blushes. That's because I learned from the best, he says. Looking at his parents, he doesn't do it in a fancy restaurant. He doesn't hire a photographer. He does it in the park. The same park where his parents used to walk. The same park where Marcus proposed to Sarah. This place is special. Tommy tells Maya, it's where my parents fell in love. And it's where I want to ask you to marry me. He gets down on one knee. Maya, you make me a better person. You see me for who I am, and you love me anyway. Will you marry me? Maya cries. Yes. Yes, of course. They kiss. And from a nearby bench, Marcus and Sarah watch. They're crying too because they're watching their son start his own love story, and it's beautiful. It's in the same church where Marcus and Sarah got married. Tommy wears a suit. Maya wears a simple white dress, and Marcus walks Maya down the aisle because Maya's father passed away when she was young. Thank you, Maya whispers to Marcus. It's my honor, Marcus says. When Tommy and Maya say, I do. There's not a dry eye in the church because everyone knows the story. Everyone knows how this family came to be. Everyone knows that love won. I want to thank my parents, Tommy says, his voice thick with emotion. Mom, you showed me what strength looks like. You raised me alone for years and you never gave up. Dad, you showed me what forgiveness looks like. You came back even when it hurt. And together, you showed me what real love looks like. Not perfect love, but real love. The kind that stays. The kind that fights. The kind that never gives up. Tommy pauses. 15 years ago, I made a choice. I chose my dad. Not because he was rich. Not because he promised me things. But because I could feel it. I could feel that he was supposed to be my father. And I was right. That choice gave me a family. A real family. And now I'm making another choice. I'm choosing Maya, not because she's perfect, but because she's real, because she sees me, and because I love her with everything I have. Tommy raises his glass. To love, to family, to second chances, everyone raises their glasses. To love. And they drink to love to family to the janitor who became a father to the mother, who learned to trust again to the boy who saw what others. COULDN single quotes to Marcus and Sarah become grandparents. Tommy and Maya have a daughter. They name her Grace. Because we've all been given grace. Tommy explains. Little Grace has Marcus's eyes and Sarah's smile. And Tommy's kind heart. She's perfect. Marcus holds her for the first time and cries. I never thought I'd get this, he whispers. A son. A family. A grandchild. Sarah puts her arm around him. You deserve all of it. And watching them, Tommy realizes something. This is what life is about. These moments. These people. This love. Not the money in the bank. Not the size of the house. Not the car in the driveway. But this. Family. Love. Grace. She's 5 years old now, curious and bright. Grandpa. Is it true you used to clean floors? Marcus smiles. Yes, sweetheart. I did. Were you sad? Sometimes. But you know what made me happy? What? Seeing your daddy? Even when I had nothing, I had him. And that made everything okay. Grace thinks about this. So money doesn't make you happy? No, baby. People make you happy. Love makes you happy, Grace nods. I love you. Grandpa, Marcus pulls her into his arms. I love you too? Grace, more than anything. And in that moment, Marcus realizes something. He's not just a grandfather, he's a legacy. A legacy of love, a legacy of choosing what matters. A legacy that will live on in Grace. And in her children. And in their children. Forever. What matters to you? Is it money? Is it status? Is it what people think? Or is it love? Is it family? Is it the people who see you for who you really are? Marcus chose love. Sarah chose love. Tommy chose love, and their lives were transformed, not because love is easy, but because love is worth it. But more importantly, he became a father, a husband, a grandfather, a man who proved that your past doesn't define you, your choices do. The single mother became a teacher, but more importantly, she became whole. She learned to forgive herself. She learned that it's never too late to tell the truth. And the boy who pointed at the janitor, he became a man who sees people, a man who loves deeply, a man who knows that the richest person in the room isn't the one with the most money. It's the one with the most love. With a choice, a 7-year-old boy standing in a small apartment, 5 rich men waiting for his decision, and outside the window, a janitor in torn shoes. The boy pointed to the janitor, and everything changed, because sometimes the poorest person in the room is actually the richest. Sometimes the person everyone overlooks is the person who matters most. Sometimes love is standing right in front of you. Wearing torn shoes and a faded jacket, you just have to see it. You just have to choose it. You just have to believe in it. And when you do, when you choose love over everything else, magic happens. Broken things become whole. Lost things are found, and families are born. So the next time you have to choose love, because in the end, love is all that matters. Love is all that lasts. Love is all we take with us when we go. The janitor knew that. The mother learned that. And the boy taught us all. What will you choose?